Yeah,
But
so
I think there's a lot there. It's just being clear about the message you want to put onto that. See, now here, I would actually put a video there. You're asking people to put their hands in their pockets. I would put a video of somebody talking about that project and what it would mean to the community, because this is so abstract. Whereas if you've got a child or a parent or somebody saying, you know, this is what the impact of the playground would mean, this is where it was, it starts to draw people in. And the thing as well, you know, what's going to get people to donate? They've got to figure out what the outcome is, how much is needed. If I'm going to give £50, is that going to make a difference? If it's not, then what's the point? So I'm almost thinking about, if you think about the Just Giving website, so you know when someone has a target and they say they've got to raise £1,000 and this is how much they raise. So actually you might say, look, you know, this is what the aim is. And if you have a look, are you linked into Tony Fish? Okay, on LinkedIn yesterday, he was promoting somebody. I'll show you at the end of this. But what they had done was, I think they wanted to raise £6,000 or £12,000. What they did, they were selling them in lots of £5, £10, £50. So actually it's saying there were 5 lots of £50 available, none had been sold.
it's like Kickstarter.
Yeah. So actually if you do something like that, then even if a child's looking at it and saying, I can put £5 of my pocket money and I get where this is going. But then you also know that if they've got to raise £2,000 and they've only raised £50, they're not going to get, probably they're not going to get the money this way. So then you'll make a decision whether or not you do it. But you also know you can be quite smart about how you present that, so you can adapt it so that you can demonstrate that they're doing quite well, and then helping to push that up. Because it's also your credibility in terms of how that is performing. And again, it's interesting that the guys who want the money are not the guys who are selling anything.
Yes.
Now, you know, a question would be, well, they want the money from you, and they're going to help their communities. But is there anything? Is there something that they can also bring back into your community? So could it be that actually they've got a great, you know, Mill Company have a great track record of working with volunteers and training up volunteers. So they're also demonstrating what they're bringing back into your community, because that's what I can see you're creating here. Yeah, that's cool. Somebody had a really good idea. So instead of saying info at where good is, it could be something like, I want to know more, not all of that, but, or hello at where good is, or just so that you're making it, because this feels very community focused, so actually making it quite buzzy and community. I think that's...
If you click on services, there's a sample sub-page.
there,
So that's what
there.
it's going to look like if, let's say, you know, somebody subscribes. That's how it would look. The page would look like that.
Okay.
I've got headphones.
See, they have quite uplifting music while they've got the commentary.
Running.
see, their video is good because they've got lots of different voices, so you keep engaged with it. The other thing is the review is too long. I would cut some of the review.
I only got that from TripAdvisor.
Great. I would cut it. Are you allowed to use it then?
I mean, it's a dummy website just for the course at the moment, but obviously when the actual website runs,
I would put a couple of reviews in, and dates. The dates are really important because that shows the relevance of. You want to show that there's a constant turnover of reviews
Feedback.
as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. And that video is embedded in your website, so people aren't going out of it. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, have you been looking at SEOs for this and working on the keywords?
no, not yet.
Okay, so that's. You see, that's where I think you're going to have to. Figure out the keywords that you want.
So that
And
when
make
people
sure
search,
it's social enterprise, it's volunteering, it's capacity building. You know, it's kind of choosing your 5 or 10 buzzy keywords, relevant ones, that you make sure that you start jumping up on the search engines. And the other question I have is whether this is London-based, UK, or
at the moment it's going to be London-based. The
And-
pilot will be in London.
okay. I can't think of anything else.
I mean, do you feel that the functions are, adequate? If you were a user, would there be something else that you'd want to look for?
You see, if you were an academic,
Hmm.
in order to, one of the things that you obviously can build on is the academic credentials. So one of the things you could actually do for the educators would be to maybe have a login page for the educators. And that way they can access resources, so you can put papers up, academic
Or
journal
videos.
papers, videos. You might write articles for your modules or for X, Y, and Z, and actually put them into there as a resource centre. So you're also getting the academic or the educators to keep coming back because you're providing a resource. And if you make it login, then people can't just download your material. And it may even be that with the educators you charge a subscription. I mean, whether or not they'll, pay for it, I don't know. But actually, you might say, look, we can provide this material for you. Here are some great articles or news items or whatever. So it's about finding a way for people to keep coming back because you're relevant with the material. And if you can do that even for students, then students on a social enterprise module could come in and get material.
Hmm.
So that's where you might actually almost have like an educator's corner or an academy corner. So actually you've got bits for students, bits for educators. And they could almost be the same, right? But you could actually have that as a login. And then you see also if you've got a login, you can then demonstrate subscribers, which then means if you build up, say, 5,000 subscribers,
You can sell it to the social
Sponsorship.
enterprise. Yeah.
it's sponsorship. So the pieces that are missing for me here are the kind of the business modelling bits in terms of how you move it forward. And so I think, doing those sorts of things so you can actually build a business angle and looking at, any of the websites. See, also with the educator site, it means, for example, if you're promoting conferences or if you've written something, you can then get a reciprocal link onto their website to this. So it's
So you
a
get
funnel.
traffic.
Yeah. But overall, I really like the feel, the visuals of it. I think it's lovely.
What do you think of the idea itself? I mean, considering you have worked with social enterprises before and you've done research, do you think this is something that would...
That I don't know because I don't know what the market's like for social enterprises. I genuinely don't have a feel for who would be competing with this.
But if you were a user, would this be something that you'd use?
Yes, if I needed it. But it's whether I need it and I see a need for it. I mean, even the problem with volunteering, it's getting volunteers into businesses is so, so difficult. So you know what you've had to do to get the social enterprises to buy in. And I think it's actually one of the things I don't think you're doing is solving the problem. You're not doing the thinking for them. So with the volunteering, or with the with the social enterprise, services for social enterprises, you haven't talked a lot about volunteering. You've said here you can present projects that require volunteers to join you. But, you know, what I might want from a volunteer could be, you know, I might think that's a good opportunity to roll out something completely new with very little
investment
and supervision. And actually, you know, I think you could switch some of that and even some of the get involved pages to, it's what we say to students, that it's getting them to, you're answering the questions, you've done the thinking for them, and that's not what I see here. I think you've done it, but the way you're presenting it, you haven't done the thinking for them. So it's saying, okay, you know, you want to find out more about social enterprises, you're keen to start this up. First step is to be a volunteer or to get lots of exposure. This is what we can help you to do. So you're walking them
through a path.
through that path. Same with the social enterprises. You know, money is tight, resources are tight. You're looking for injections of new ideas, volunteers, or X, Y, and Z. So I think that thinking through you can certainly offer to them.
So could there be like a volunteer page that lists different available opportunities for volunteering that have specifications as to what skills is being looked for?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, you've had to look at the Unlimited website, haven't you?
Yes.
I don't know if they do that.
I think they have.
But it's also... See, even with Unlimited, it's very difficult to really understand what they're offering.
Or what they do.
It's always the big problem with social enterprises, that you don't always understand what the deal is and what's going on. I mean, the other thing, Jess, this is big, the Twitter, because that will help with your SEO. And to be honest, I would actually...
It's not difficult to embed the feed.
No, I would actually make this a lot smaller, because this isn't going to add immense value to you, the featured social enterprise.
And put the feed
make
there.
it a lot smaller. You've got, you know, you're giving half a screen. I don't think the picture, you know, I know it's just a one-off picture, I don't know if it adds that much value to it, but actually I would, and you know, if they're going to be featured, they should be paying you to be featured, or they should be doing something. But you've got the feature, but you've still got the feed. And the other thing I would also put would be an RSS feed, and just get information about whatever's big within the social enterprise, whatever's going on, whether it's conferences. If you look at Unlimited, they're promoting their conferences. But you know, here we're organising a dinner with the Scholar Award Centre, or this and this. So what you then have is you've got all of these sorts of, all the different activities and the events